Are you looking to grow revenues, increase profitability, or obtain financing? If so, you came to the right place.
Running a business is all about leadership. How do you become a better leader? Learn from the successful entrepreneurs and business owners how to lead your organization more effectively. That's why we created Leadership Live at 805, Talking Small Business, to help you succeed with your host, Andrew Frazier, Business Growth Pro and CFO and founder of the Small Business Pro University. Every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're joined by experienced entrepreneurs and business owners who share their secrets to success via live stream. Also, every Friday morning, we release a new podcast episode. Either way, you will learn about developing your business leadership skills from our roster of highly performing guest experts. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbpro.u.com.
Good evening and welcome back to Leadership Live at 805. I hope you had a happy Memorial Day weekend or Veterans Day. Sorry, as a veteran, happy Veterans Day weekend. And if you served, thanks for your service. As well, last week was an exciting week. We had our power breakfast and networking, which was outstanding. We've already got people connecting afterwards to do some business and be more successful. And that's what it's all about. Hopefully, if you missed this one, you can join us at our next one, which is going to be March 21st in Kenilworth, New Jersey. So, I'll provide info later in the chat. If you want to get registered now and get your super early bird pricing, definitely encourage you to do that. So welcome everybody. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Glad you're able to join us again. What's up, Darren? Thanks for joining as well. And, greetings. Welcome, everybody, to join us tonight. Excited about tonight's show, especially for entrepreneurs and small business owners. I think this show is important because, you can do business a lot of different ways nowadays than you could in the past. So, our topic today is outsourcing everything to save more time and make more money. And that's actually possible nowadays where it used to be not possible. So, how do you do that? What does that mean? And it's a great thing for entrepreneurs and business owners because it really allows you to move your business forward faster and easier. So our guest tonight is Gene Bohensky. He's shares a lot of valuable knowledge and information. That's why we generally bring him on a regular basis. And excited to have him join us again tonight. So, Gene, what's going on? How are you doing tonight?
Hey, good evening, Andrew. Yeah, good to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining. I'm excited about the topic tonight and really having a good chat with you that can be helpful for our viewers. So definitely looking forward to that.
Right.
Excellent. So many people may know you, but they may not know you. So if you could just take a minute, just give the highlights about who you are and what you do, and then we'll get on with the show.
Sure. I started my career as an engineer and landed in technical sales. I worked for a number of small businesses, including being a part owner of a small manufacturing business. Fast forward a number of years, I became a business coach with the Alternative Board. I have the Alternative Board of Northern New Jersey franchise. Been coaching business owners almost 10 years. And out of that, I grew Archer Strategies and its sister company, Archer's Contact Solutions in the Philippines, to provide outsourced services, really as an outgrowth of my coaching business, seeing how small business owners needed effective people to help them.
Hey, Excellent. And you've had a really exciting year because, you've seen a lot of growth in a short period of time and really been able to manage it well, which many businesses and business owners would not have been able to do. So definitely, you know, great job on that. And looking forward to, you have some significant growth plans. So definitely looking forward to sort of see where you go with that as well.
Yeah, we have that big, hairy, audacious goal of helping 1,000 small businesses with 1,000 VAs. So
Oh,
that's one
okay.
of the long-term goals. It's a big one.
Right. Well, you're almost 10% there. So
That's right. Yeah,
um,
right. Yeah,
and that's within a year. So that's really excellent. So
we tapped into something. We tapped into
yes,
something. Right.
into a great need. And that's really part of the reason why we're talking about this tonight, because it's creates the ability for entrepreneurs and business owners to do a lot of things they couldn't do otherwise. So before we jump into that, we do the show through the Small Business Pro University, and just got a short video about what that is, and then I'll come back with Gene, and we'll be talking more about about our topic tonight. So give me 1 second, and I'll pull that up, and we'll go from there. Many small businesses experience low or no revenue growth, and the owners are not making enough money. I founded the Small Business Pro University to help business owners break that cycle by empowering them with greater knowledge and enhanced skills to lead their companies more effectively. Over the past 15 years, I've worked one-on-one with more than 1,000 business owners and taught tens of thousands of people about business. My experience includes serving as a Navy officer, graduating from MIT, earning an MBA from NYU, and achieving the CFA designation. Small Business Pro University empowers entrepreneurs like you to run their businesses more professionally and create sustainable enterprises. Small Business Pro University provides access to valuable resources, partnerships, and relationships that will help you to grow revenue, increase profit, and obtain financing faster and easier. Our Masterpreneur initiatives include more than 100 expert-led multimedia courses and training programs with more than 2,500 lessons. The Small Business Pro Network, our private community for entrepreneurs. Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business, our weekly live stream and podcast. Advanced Learning Institutes focused on revenue generation, profit maximization, and capital acquisition. And the Power Breakfast series, in-person events where business owners learn best practices, enjoy great networking, and gain useful knowledge. If you want to sell more and make more, you need to check out Small Business Pro University. Visit our website at www.sbprou.com. All right, good evening. Welcome back to Leadership Live. I'm here with Gene Bohensky, and we're talking about the topic, outsourcing everything to save time and make more money. So Gene, definitely, outsourcing has been a thing for a long time. It started with large companies, and over the past several years, it's been a much bigger thing for smaller companies. And you've taken advantage of it, and you've helped other people do that. But when we talk about outsourcing, what does that mean? What is that? What should that mean, and how should we define that?
Well, outsourcing really pertains to everything you do in your business. One of the things that happened in the last 10 to 20 years with the transformation of the internet being used as really a basic resource for everybody is that all our applications have moved into the cloud. And through COVID, people got used to working at home, using all those cloud-based applications. And then companies who couldn't find people locally because they were already working from home, they were able to start looking at people working in other states, right? And from there, you go from, well, if you're working in other states, why not have workers work in other countries, right? So outsourcing outsourcing everything became possible to move any of the work that you do to everywhere, anywhere in the world where it makes sense, where you can find the cost of doing that work much lower than you could do that here. But it's not even about cost, it's about just being able to find anybody at all to do the work for you.
Great. No, definitely. It's harder and harder to find talent and good employees, especially that have the skills that you need. So if it's hard for large companies, so it's extra hard for smaller companies. But the great thing is that we're moving towards the gig economy, where so many people are freelancers, and that gives you the ability to access better talent than you would have been able to hire at more effective pricing and only for what you need them for. So that really is valuable for small business owners, because many times it's hard to get the expertise you need. So everything falls on you as a business owner to figure out and learn. So, Gene, you work with a lot of people on VAs through your firm, but there's a lot of other ways that you can outsource things as well. What is sort of the universe of the types of outsourcing you can do, in this day and age? So, what are some of the platforms or some of the ways and some of the things that you can outsource?
Well, first of all, you want to look at the type of work that you want to do. Typically the classic outsourced work or standard process-based work that you take a look at the processes and the work that you're doing here, and you simply create instructions and have that work done overseas. That could be done. That could be done any kind of work, and there's really three ways to get outsourced work. One is through the type of freelance platforms like Fiverr or Upwork or others, where you post a job with very specific requirements, and you hire somebody for the task specifically suited to the requirements. So if Fiverr used to be get a logo for $5, or my brother even uses Fiverr to get somebody to play guitar on one of his tracks, and he made music with people all over the world from Fiverr. Outsourcing very specific tasks, right? The next step is to find a freelancer. You want somebody to work for you either full-time or part-time, or how many hours a week that you want. You can look at on some of those platforms. You can hire, what's called a virtual assistant, which is someone that can help you with any kind of tasks in your business. And you can hire them for 5 hours or 10 hours or 20 hours a week. And you can find them on Upwork, and you can hire them directly through a platform, or you can hire them directly. There's some areas where you can actually find them on LinkedIn and find them in other areas. And you can hire them directly. Of course, you have to be responsible for, for hiring them and making sure you're finding the right person and that they're honest with you. The other ways to do it is to go through an agency. There's a number of virtual assistant or remote staffing agencies. Those agencies will provide people. There's a wide range of quality in those agencies. On the lower quality side, they act kind of like as a broker, and really are brokering freelancers that are working from home all over the place. To a company like ours, where we actually have our agents and our virtual assistants work in an office where they're hired, they're trained, and they have a place to go to work, and there's some more reliability there. So there's a wide range of services that you can offer and that you can find offered. And I also want to point out there's two major classifications of virtual assistant. There's the task-based virtual assistant, where everything is based upon tasks that you actually define, provide, and hand over like a package of work for them to do, right? Say, I want this done. And then they go and do it, and they say, okay, I'm done. Give me the next job. I want this done. The next phase is when you're looking at virtual assistants that are really your assistants. They actually work and behave with the form, fit, and function of an employee, so that um, they're actually become an employee that you're hiring through a company like ours working overseas for you, either full or part-time, where they can really engage with you. They can get to learn you, get to learn your business, get to start to think for you. And I want to go on a little bit further about this, because there is something that has happened in the last 10 or 15 years globally to a lot of these countries where they use English as a main language. Philippines is one of those countries. They, through the internet and through the entertainment and media complex, a lot of these countries have a significant portion of their population that is totally familiar with our culture and our movies and our programs. And you get to understand that, especially the younger people under 30, have excellent English skills. They understand things that you wouldn't imagine. And there's a cultural component to it where there's a lot of them that are really easy to understand and easy to work with. So it makes it, it doesn't make it implausible anymore. You can hire somebody in the Philippines and they can act like they're next door. They can act like they're in your office, right? With perfect language skills, with the required technical skills, and the communication and cultural skills that allow you to form a relationship with them. And I think that's something that is really striking, that I've learned through doing this, is how well that actually works if you put the right people together.
Okay. No, excellent. Full disclosure, I have a virtual assistant through Gene, and it's changed my life over the last year. Definitely been able to really do some things that I never ever would have been able to do. So definitely, I encourage it. But there can be challenges with virtual outsourcing. A lot of people run into challenges, but we wanted to have this show tonight also to kind of help steer you in the right direction and help make sure that you are able to create a successful relationship as far as this. So we've got some questions, and I think the first one should be this, because it's asking, what's the first step a small business owner should take to start outsourcing?
Well, that's a great question. I like to start people with having them list and do an inventory of what they actually do during a full week. Actually put together a list of all 5 days, and each day separate them out in 15-minute increments over the 8 or 10 hours or 12 hours if you're a rockin' and rollin' business owner, and really write down what you're doing and find out how much of that work really can be done by somebody else. The chances are is that if you're a starting business owner or you're starting to grow, there's too much administrative work that you're doing, right? That's a general rule for someone starting. The second thing from there is to look at all the tasks that need to get done that aren't getting done because you don't have time. And those typically include administrative tasks like bookkeeping, managing your email inbox, making sure someone's getting back to all the emails that you're getting in. Because as you get busy, you forget to get back to people, and a lot of things slip through the cracks. And a virtual assistant can help you do that. The other thing that you can start thinking about is whether you want to outsource some of your customer service and outbound sales activities. This is where you can hire people to do uh, a calling, where they can do, you know, any type of lead generation, research, any of those type of things. You know, there's more that they can do than you can imagine, right? In my experience, they're very talented. They learn very quickly. They want to learn. They want to please, and they also want to be a part of your business if they're the right people. So that's the thing. And then, of course, you got to think about your own business. Where do you want to head? What are your long-term goals for your business? A lot of people hire virtual assistants as their first employee. It's a great way to get started. And the challenge is actually with you, the business owner, because if you've never used an assistant before and you've never really worked with somebody else before, this is going to be a challenge to have you understand how to delegate work. And this you're going to have to learn anyway, right? So if you really want to grow, it's one of the key things you have to learn as a business owner is how to delegate and work to other people and trust them to get it done, and make sure the work is managed to a degree that you're getting satisfactory outputs from them. You're going to have to learn how to do this. So the sooner you learn it with a virtual assistant, the better, because it's going to be important. And there's ways, we through the agency that we've developed, we have some tips and tricks and some things that we do on the communication side. You want to make sure that you're always communicating with them. You're treating them like an employee. You have regular conversations with them. You're bringing them into your sphere. They're learning about your work, your culture, your business, your goals. You share that with them, and they become like a true assistant. And I know I have a couple of VAs. I have one assistant now that is just, I don't know what I would do without her. She's so good. I let her take control of my email inbox. She can respond to my emails that I get as me. She sets my appointments. She calls my clients. She calls my prospects. And I trust her implicitly, and it works really well if you find the right person for you. That's the key. You have to find the right person that matches you.
Okay, great. So we got the virtual assistants, and you mentioned sort of relationships are important. Sometimes it's transactional use of one for something specific, or someone who is more general, or you have a relationship that you're building over time and becomes part of your business. So it's interesting you said that everything starts with you, because even in my book, Running Your Small Business Like a Pro, the 5th chapter is it me or are my employees crazy? And one of the key things is the most important part about having successful employees is a person in the mirror. It's about you. If things aren't working, it's not them, it's you. Either you aren't creating the right environment, you should have fired them, you haven't developed them, but all the power is in your hands, but also all the responsibilities in your hands. So definitely virtual, building relationship with virtual assistant is like employee, but it's up to you to do it right, and to find the right one. So very, very important things to think about. So one of the key aspects of successful relationship with virtual assistant is communication. And we have a question about communication. How do you handle communication and collaboration with freelancers?
That's a good question. I think first of all, you have to remember that if you have any type of project work or anything of a complex nature, you have to be very specific with what your requirements are. And the more details you can give, the better. That goes. I mean, I've done a couple of projects on a task basis. I've had a couple of apps developed. I've had some websites developed, and those things work really well if you're specific with what you need. A lot of times people get into these kind of projects and they're not specific, and they don't really understand the challenges that the freelancer needs to face. If it comes to a more day-to-day relationship, collaborating with them, you know, I've always made a rule that all communication needs to be with a video call. You need to see them. You need to look them in the eye. You need to talk things through. You have to make sure that they understand you. Um, if you're going to pick somebody, you have to make sure that you have a compatible personality type. We at our agency, we actually use DISC, which is the behavioral styles model, to match business owners and their jobs with the freelancers. We have our own proprietary system to do that. How we use DISC and how we match them with clients. That has proven to be extremely fruitful because there's a compatibility between people, not just between people, but also with the work that needs to get done, whether it needs to be detail oriented and you need to have someone that is good with details, or whether it's customer service and you need someone that is more of a people person. Not one person doesn't fit all different roles. So we kind of, having done this for a while, we kind of understand how that process goes. But we always recommend frequent collaboration. Where it doesn't work is where you give them a task and you don't reach back out to them for a week later, and then you find a week later they were doing the wrong thing, right? Or the results weren't satisfactory, and then you blame them, right? I mean, I've seen that many times. Or if you're doing a sales campaign and you don't have a good marketing strategy yourself or a good unique value proposition, and there's nothing really that the caller can do to save a failing campaign. So a lot of that is on you, the business owner, to make sure that you know what you want, that you're clear, and that you have a good partner to work with.
Great. So, there's a lot of areas that you can outsource, but, definitely one area that's critical to your business and kind of can be scary to delegate is talking to your customers. Definitely, having people doing customer service. We had a question about how can you ensure quality when you're outsourcing customer service. What's your response to that type of question?
Well, first of all, when it comes to customer service, it's all about training, right? So you have to make sure the person is trained in what you want to say, that you've developed kind of scripts and a game plan for them to learn. You're going to have to work with them on some of the scripts and make sure they understand your product or service well. It's very important to do that. And on our end, mostly all calls are recorded. So you need to play back those calls, listen to them, and coach them to make sure that they've got it right. I think that's key to do that, because it's going to take a little bit of time. And another thing is that you're going to have to be a little ready for, a couple of weeks so that everything gets sorted out. We have a lead generation campaign. It's actually really successful. It's our most successful campaign, and it's because the client is working directly with our agents, right? So we have complete transparency. We want our people to know. We want our clients to know our people, and vice versa, right? Because we hire the best, right? So when you're doing this, you got to get the best. You got to get people with the best accents. You got to get people who are motivated, people who are going to do a good job. It's the old thing, right? You got to find those top people to work for you. And when you do that, and you train them well, and you watch them and you coach them, that's how you get the quality. Those three things need to happen.
Great. So definitely, there's, that really outlines kind of what's, what's needed. So I want to
maybe I would just like to say that we're going to butt in.
Okay.
I have to make a comment about that. We've been doing this. I've been working with callers for about 8 years. And before we formally started this business, we did a lot of informal freelancing. That's where we hired people working out of their homes, right? And we realized that doesn't work. It doesn't work because we couldn't guarantee their internet. We couldn't guarantee the quality of the computers they were using. We couldn't coach them because we weren't there. We weren't there to see what they were doing. We couldn't train them. And it kind of made it impossible to improve what they were doing. So, I mean, we kind of figured out that doesn't work unless you build a company around it where you have people training and watching and coaching, especially teams of callers. My partner is an expert in training sales callers, and you'd be amazed by how much coaching can actually make a calling team improve their productivity by 8 times. I mean, it's huge compared to having one person at home, maybe basically motivated for 15 minutes, and then their kids crying in the background or something else is going on, then they're going to make more calls. Versus having a team that's working with each other and they're excited, they're competing, they're comparing their performance with each other. Right, they're right in the same room, listening to each other, learning from each other. I think that's the way you get this to work and work better.
Okay, so definitely, it doesn't always work, but there's reasons why many times, and we're going to talk more about what are best practices, what can you do, what should you do to make it more likely that you're going to have success with your freelancers and virtual assistants, so that you can actually get to the point where you can outsource everything and that you're comfortable and that you're able to save a lot of time, make more money easier and faster. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to talk a little bit about we have a couple of memberships available through the Small Business Pro University as a way to really help you continue to develop, build your skills and expertise. So I'm going to show you a short video that outlines what we offer, as well as our basic membership, which is a good place to start. So we'll take a minute to do that, and then I'll be back with Gene Bohensky talking small business. Hi, I'm Andrew Frazier, founder of Small Business Pro University. I have worked one-on-one with more than 1,000 diverse small business owners and taught tens of thousands of people about business. If you're looking to work on your business instead of in it, or to scale your business and take it to the next level, you need to join Small Business Pro University for a supportive community of like-minded entrepreneurs, business education on your terms, when, where, and how you prefer, live virtual training on critical topics by small business experts, and a directory of trusted service providers to assist you with your growth. We have 3 options that you can choose from: the Masterpreneur Club for business owners who have achieved a certain level of success and are looking to scale, the Small Business Pro Growth Accelerator for business owners and future business owners who want to work on their business rather than in it, and our associate membership for those seeking to join the community, test drive some courses, and gain access to resources. To join, visit www.sbprou.com/membership to learn more about our membership options and select the tier that's most appropriate for your business. That's www.sbprou.com/membership. What is the ultimate business ecosystem for helping entrepreneurs to accelerate and grow their business? Of course, the Small Business Pro University. Become an associate member to enjoy the benefits like accessing a community of like-minded entrepreneurs, test driving multimedia, online, on-demand mini courses on important business topics, participating in live Ask the Expert and Power Networking sessions. Hello, my name is Andrew Frazier. I've worked one-on-one with over 1,000 business owners and taught more than 10,000 people about business. Join today to take advantage of charter membership pricing. Visit www.sbprou.com/membership and join today. Okay, great. Welcome back. I'm here with Gene Bohensky. We're talking about outsourcing everything to save money and to make more money and save time. So, that's a great combination. Outsourcing can do a lot of things for you, but also many times outsourcing doesn't work for people. And, we've talked a little bit about it, but, what are the key reasons outsourcing may not work? And then also you talked about what you do and why it works. So, how do you, what are some of the key issues and, how do you overcome those for people?
Well, the biggest issue is with the business owner themselves. They have to make sure that they, like I mentioned at the beginning, they're doing an inventory of all the tasks that other people need to be doing, and that they have to actually stop doing those tasks and do the other things that are more important to grow their business. Usually the business owner needs to spend more time selling, less time doing the work if they can, and certainly less time with administrative work. So a lot of times the challenge is that, like was mentioned before, there really wasn't good enough training and really not enough delegation, or even from that, trust in the delegation, right? So that you trust it and you let it come back the way it should be. A lot of times, business owners, they get too tied into the details, and or they don't give them enough work and they get frustrated and they don't really know how to tell people what to do. There's kind of a process in learning how to outsource the work. I've seen it myself. I mean, actually, I'm the kind of person, and used to be for many years, I can do it myself and I can do it better. You have to remember, sometimes when you let other people do the work, you're going to have to let them do it their way. And it might not be better than how you do it. But that's not the point. The point is that they've saved a chunk of time for you to be able to do something else, right? That's the key thing to think about in order to make this whole thing successful for yourself. Yes, a lot of times it's not going to be as good. And a lot of times, to be quite honest, it's not going to matter. Because when you're running a business, it's not like school. You're not looking for the top grades. You're looking to get things done, right? And I actually didn't get to read that question. Maybe you can put that question back up. It's been my experience that some VAs and freelancers may not live in your state or country, but they have the skills and experience that you need. That's correct. A lot of the people overseas have the skills. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like, for example, in the Philippines, they're the number one users of social media. A 25-year-old person in the Philippines has more experience with social media than a 25-year-old American. They've probably spent more time editing videos, doing posts, doing programs online than people here. They've probably done more social media posting and advertising. Yeah, maybe the style isn't really up to snuff. Some of that stuff can be learned or adapted to what we're doing. But this is the new world. A lot of these platforms, the smartphone platform, the social media platforms, these are global. They're being used in all the countries, and everyone has a smartphone. Even the poorest people in the Philippines have a smartphone. They can do all the things that people with money can do. And probably they're better because they spend more time figuring it out, because that's what they have. That's what interests them. So, you have to assume that they're going to be pretty good at it. There's also another component which is interesting from the cultural side. Most of the people who have businesses and who are working here in that capacity are a little bit older. And some of the people who are working as freelancers, not just in the Philippines, but there's other countries right now that the Central and South American countries are becoming very popular, particularly some of them that are Spanish speaking. They're all technically capable, and they all have the skills. They're all learning the software. If you're in bookkeeping, you're learning QuickBooks Pro online. You can find QuickBooks Pro on certified online people in many countries, right? People that know how to use all the CRMs, whether it's HubSpot or Pipedrive or Go High Level, right? Or Salesforce. There's experts everywhere. There's certainly experts in the Philippines. There's experts in India. There's experts in Central America. So they're doing that software. The dialer software too. Voice over IP telephones allow somebody to use an American telephone number from your town anywhere in the world and act like they're you. So the challenge in not getting this to work lies squarely on you, the business owner. If it's not working, it's most likely your fault, right? You got to figure out a better way to work with them and find also a better source of VAs that you can get that matches what you do. And, it also depends on your task. But there's one more thing I want to say. Sometimes people think that they can do everything, right? They have a VA. They want them to do graphic design. They want them to do sales. They want them to do bookkeeping. They want them to write emails. You expect some of them are good. No kidding. They're amazing. But some of them are expected to do more than you would ever expect someone here to do. So, but it just goes to show you how far this whole thing has come, right?
No, that's a great point. You have to be reasonable with your expectations, and you have to build with them. But what I'll say is using, having a VA through you, I have a full-time VA and it's working out great. But a few of the best practices are, one, we meet every day at 8 a.m. So we meet early so that, it doesn't tie up my day when I have meetings and other things, and we can get started early. Sometimes we'll start early and then meet multiple times during the day because, she's full-time, works a full day U.S. time, which is 12-hour difference from where she is, but she's comfortable doing that. Also,
and that's normal. People realize that in this business, they realize it over there. Working nights is normal, and it's actually interesting. I have to point this out because it always strikes me when I go there. Because it's an equatorial region, they don't have really change of seasons. Here in the summertime, we have these beautiful late evenings into 9 or 10 o'clock when it's light. Over there, it always gets dark at 5:30 in the afternoon, always. So they're used to living in the night, right? They're used to being busy in the dark. So for them, working the last half of the night from 8 to 5 in the morning is really not a big stretch for them. And as a result, the if you ever go there, the country's awake all the time. Everything's open. There's stores open. All the fast food restaurants are open. Everything's open.
Okay.
Dunkin' Donuts is open.
So, So, so which is great. So you don't necessarily have to work on someone else's time, because I know that can be difficult, especially from a communication standpoint, from a management standpoint. But that doesn't have to be the case.
Well, there's also a benefit if you want a VA. You can also find VAs that work on their time, and that is a benefit on some projects because we share a VA, a secondary VA, that works on their time. And what's good about her is that she gets everything done while we're sleeping. So in the evening we give her the tasks, and in the morning they're all done. So that's different tasks and different setup. But that could work too for some people.
So yeah. So no, I mean that's critical. Definitely, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of times your VA can do things that you can't do, or do things that you can somewhat do, but do it better than you. You just have to figure that out, and especially with training. There's a lot of people who have challenges with CRM systems, and just social media and other types of things that, if you can bring someone in who already knows how to do it, that really saves you time and allows you to really focus on what's most important to your business. So
and CRM, if you're not good at it, it's like feeding the beast. CRM to work well in your business, you need to enter a lot of information and keep it up to date. And that's actually a perfect task for an assistant, right? For a sales assistant. And that's just a wonderful way to help grow your business. They could manage all that data entry and follow up, all that stuff that you don't have time to do, right? I'm a big proponent of that. That's got to happen. That's got to happen soon in your business if you want to grow. You got to bring somebody in to take on that management where you can do what you do best, which is going out and selling, right? Meeting clients, meeting customers, getting new business. And if it's something like, if you're doing like work, like contracting work or physical work, you even need an assistant even more, because the chances are what you're doing is you're working a whole day, right? Working your tail off on the job. And then when you're exhausted, you got to deal with all the paperwork in the evening after dinner. And then it's then that you're getting back to getting back to customers and writing emails. So, we have a lot of people working with contractors, and they do all kinds of help. We have one that even assists in bidding. We have one that does a lot of, there's a ServPro franchise, and they have a lot of jobs, and the VA does all the expense tracking and budgeting for all those jobs. We have VAs that work as dental assistants, office assistants. We have VAs that work for small luxury magazine franchises where they handle all kinds of tasks, from light design tasks to calling clients. There's just a lot of things that they can do. Of course, we have bookkeepers, people that do bookkeeping and accounting, people that do customer service. We have somebody even that does email and chat support for a clothing company. That's an interesting one. We also have marketing companies, and those marketing companies use us to do their web design and do their video editing and also do their sales. They actually have very specific products and services that they offer, and they were able to create a very specific script with a very specific targeted audience, and they were able to hire the assistants to do that. So that's another thing that can be done.
Excellent.
There's literally so much that can be done that is really, it's limited by your own imagination. And sometimes I ask business owners, okay, let's get started on the list, but why don't you dream a little bit? Take a couple of hours or a couple of days to dream. What are the things that you think you could be doing for your business that can really grow, that you can do with someone else? And remember, you're talking about a full-time people starting, $1,200, $1,500, $1,800 a month, far less than you would pay somebody here, right? And those people are just as talented. And so you can hire someone at a fraction of what it would cost to hire someone here, and with very little risk.
So definitely. So you talked a little bit about this here, but just to round it out a little bit, we got a question about onboarding a new freelancer.
We do have an onboarding process. First, what we do is we want to speak with you, the business owner, to find out all the things that you need the person to do. Of course, we're gonna get the right person for you. Onboarding includes first establishing the methods of communication, making sure that the person has an email address in your company, that we understand how you're going to be communicating with them. We can provide a phone number for them, but we also encourage that you provide a company email for them and treat them like they're an employee. We have a whole bunch of ways that we can look at the different tasks that they're responsible for. If it's an actual job description, we'd like that. And one of the things that is important for us, this is just our process, is every assistant has a manager. And that manager is ultimately responsible for the success of that VA with the client, right? So they have to provide end of day reports and situation reports to their manager, so that the manager can tell whether they're doing a good job and the client is satisfied. That's very important, that we make sure that things are running smooth, that any of the software that you want them to use, that they know the software. And if they don't, that we can train them on the software, because we have experts on the software. We use many different platforms across all of our clients, according to what the client wants. And so we have a lot of expertise in-house. And we may want to make sure that they're going to be properly trained on the software. And then if it's a product or service that you're offering, we're going to want to make sure that they're trained on that they understand what it is that they need to do if they're selling a product, or they just have a script that they're asking. I know there's a number of real estate campaigns that we've done, reaching out to customers. I know we've done some of those. It depends on what you have. Training includes, making sure that they understand the script, understand what they're talking about, recording the calls, critiquing the calls, sharing the recordings with the client, making sure that the people are properly engaged with the clients. That's kind of what we do. We kind of really make sure, get involved in those details. And usually, from our perspective, what we do that's a little different is we have very strict hiring standards to begin with. And we put our VAs through a month training program. And we really don't let them, we don't present them to a client unless we're certain we can guarantee that they're going to do a good job for somebody, right? So we want to make sure that they have the right personalities, that they have the right attitude, that they have excellent skills, excellent communication skills. And then once we train them and assess them, we have our own assessment process. Only then will we say, okay, we think Mary is going to be a great VA. We're going to present her to the client because we think that's going to work. And we've had a lot of success doing that. I think we've developed a process now that works. And it takes away the risk from you, as opposed to just going on one of these freelancer sites and trying to do the hiring yourself. We've taken some of that risk out of it.
Okay, excellent. So you've shared a lot of great stuff. Unfortunately, time is against us. 1 hour is really not enough time to cover this topic thoroughly. But hopefully you've learned some things. that could be helpful if you're looking for a VA or looking to outsource certain things. Really the onus is on you. Um, you know, Definitely Gene and his team do a great job of reducing the risk and, increasing the value of people who can work with you. But Gene, before we close out, I want you to share 3 key things that people should take away from our talk tonight, because, many times, people can't remember more than 3 things, and also just want to reinforce the most important and most valuable 3 things. So if you could take a minute, I'll give you play a short video to give a little bit of time for you to sort of think about that. But definitely would be great to get your perspective on that. And let's see, I'm looking for a good video. Well, I'll just play a video about our Masterpreneur Club, which something that, especially if you're in business, you've been in business for a little while and doing some great things, but want to continue to grow. This is an option for you. You've successfully built a solid business and want to continue to grow. However, the growth you desire has been elusive. We created the Masterpreneur Club to help you maximize profitability, value, and scalability faster and easier. I'm Andrew Frazier, and I created the Masterpreneur Playbook Framework. I've worked one-on-one with over 1,000 business owners and taught tens of thousands of people about business. My unique perspective and expertise will help you to scale your business faster and easier. As a member of the Masterpreneur Club, you will have access to Masterpreneur level training for scaling your business and one-on-one monthly strategy sessions with me to focus on how best to scale your business. I have helped numerous businesses grow revenue, maximize profitability, and increase value. If you're looking to successfully scale your business, you need to join the Masterpreneur Club. Visit www.sbprou.com/membership to learn more. Okay, great. So we've had a great discussion with Gene tonight. Gene's going to leave us with 3 key things that we should take away and can utilize starting tomorrow, based on what we talked about tonight.
So the first one is that in order for you to grow your business and to grow as a person, you need to hire an assistant sooner than later. You need to do it. You need to learn how to delegate. That's the first thing. You have to commit to yourself to making this work for you and your business. Because as you grow and have eventual plans for in-person employees here or growing in the future, you're going to have to learn to delegate. That's really key. That's the first one. The second one is you have to think about all the things that you are doing that should be done by somebody else. You have to list those things and do yourself an inventory of what you do during the day. You can add to that all the things that you wish you could be doing that could be done by somebody else to grow your business. You'll realize quickly when you make those lists how much time is going to be saved when you hire an assistant and how much more work is going to be done to move your business forward. It's critical. And the third thing is really look at where you're going to find your virtual assistant. Like I mentioned, there's a number of different sources for them. You can hire them directly. You can go through agencies. You can look at task-based agencies. But consider some of the things that I said. Some of the things that we learned doing this for 8 or 9 years is that it made sense to have people work out of an office where they have a full-time job with government benefits, and they can work for you in a committed relationship, in a committed work relationship. Is you want to find a freelancing agency that does that and guarantees that they're going to work. And you'll have a much higher chance that your virtual assistant relationship and whatever remote work that you want to do will work. So those are really the 3 key areas. So make sure you do it. Make sure you understand the tasks you need to outsource, and make sure you find the person at the right agency that can provide you the top and best person that you can get for your money.
Okay, excellent. So, learn to delegate, and that's useful wherever you are and whatever business you have.
You can use it as an exercise, right? I mean, I say, like, do it as an exercise at a minimum. Do it to learn how to do it, right? You have to do it. It's a lot different, spending the money with us than hiring a full-time person for $50,000 or $60,000 and not knowing what to do. I mean, how many business owners do that? They put the big bucks out hiring a person, and the person doesn't work, right? And they get soured by that experience, right? It's easier to start with a VA and learn how to do it when it's not much of a risk.
Definitely. Because you learn as you're doing. So, learning how to delegate, be clear about what you want to do, in terms of like what you're doing now. But, like you said, what are your future plans? What do you wish you could be doing now that you're not able to do because of bandwidth or skills? That opens up whole different worlds. They've got a question, are there VAs that do social media and editing? My social media, the videos you're seeing, edited my video there. She does my social media, does, images, does my website, does outreach, pretty much. If you get the right person from the right organization, you can get mostly anything that you would need. So, that's why we say you can outsource everything. So,
right.
Definitely if you're interested,
except for maybe plumbing.
Yeah, sometimes you got to have on-site stuff, but anything else. But you definitely welcome to reach out to Gene. You got his LinkedIn profile on the chat. He always likes meeting with people. And then also, if you want to learn more, go to his website. He's got a nice little video there, and check that out as well. So definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. Gene, I appreciate you taking the time to hang out tonight and share your expertise. Anything you want to share before you leave?
No, this is really a passion project for me. For me, I see how it helps business owners, and I've seen it transform business owners from that standpoint. But, I want to also say it also transforms the lives of the assistants that we give the work to. I travel to the Philippines regularly, and it's been such a blessing for their life, and it's really a privilege for them to work with American business owners, and they see it as a privilege. And I think that's one of the reasons why it works so well, because we're giving them an education and a window into our life and our world.
Okay. Excellent. So thank you again, Gene. Definitely people tuned in. Appreciate what you had to share. And, definitely looking forward to having you on again. And that's why I generally bring you on, because, there's always new things that you can share that are valuable. So
I appreciate it. I love coming on.
Yep. And hang out while I close things out.
Okay.
Excellent. So, another great episode. Hopefully got something valuable out of it. It's so important to develop and grow your team if you're going to have a growing business. So, so you want to keep that in mind. And outsourcing is a way to do that. That's cheaper, faster, and give you options. So definitely look into it. We talked about some of the best practices, some of the best ways to do that, which is key. So feel free to reach out to Gene. He can tell you a lot more. Also, next week, as we always have great guests, and I'm excited about next week. our guest next week and our topic next week, we're going to be talking about leveraging video content to enhance your brand. I always say that, picture's worth 1,000 words, but a video is worth 1,000 pictures. So if you're not using video, you're really, you're leaving a lot on the table. Incorporating video into what you do is powerful, but it can be scary. It can be difficult. Editing can be a challenge, but next week we have a gentleman. His name's Vedant, and he's like CEO of video.ai. And actually, that's a service that I use. After every live stream, I put my video into video AI, and it actually spits out 20 to 30 1 minute or less videos, so that I can use them on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and other things, without having to hire someone to edit it. It spits it out in like 20 minutes. And you can also edit those and post straight to social media from them. And that's really enabled me to, have, a growing TikTok following and content on TikTok daily, YouTube Shorts, so many things that you can do through technology. A combination of technology and VA is what I use. So next week he's going to be here to talk about that, and how he built his company. He's built a very solid company through this. So he's going to have a lot of great things to share. So hopefully you're going to be able to join us next week. And as the holidays are coming up quick. The end of the year is coming up quick. So, it's time to start planning for next year. So you should be thinking about, what is my plan for next year, and how am I going to close out strong this year? So, at the end of the day, the more that the faster and more successfully your business is going to grow.
Thank you for listening to Leadership Live at 8:05, Talking Small Business. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Leadership Live is one of the many valuable resources provided through the Small Business Pro University, empowering business owners to learn, profit, and grow. Find out more at sbpro.u.com.